Hey everybody, game 2 of my 3-game Friday Warhammer session with my buddies. Bretonnia versus Chaos. We didn't expect to play, actually. Just the first game of Chaos versus Ogres went so quickly that we had time. So I quickly grabbed the list of Bretonnias I had last week. No changes, didn't have time to make any changes. And we threw them down, just rolled up meeting engagement. And the Ogre player actually set up the board. We always like that impartial setup. So this is what we got. We have a Tower of Blood, River of Light, Forest, a marsh. I believe it'll drag you down initiative test marsh, and then a normal building. We don't know that's a River of Light when we get started. So it's meeting engagement. So we have to roll for which flanks you're in, and this is how I deployed and how Chaos deployed. And this is after Vanguard movements. You can see the Peg Knights out there. I've got my Knights of the Realm with a level 4 damsel in there. She's Lower Heavens. A trebuchet. Got a big group of Grails. 35 men in arms and a level 2 with beasts in there. She has the prayer icon to give them the blessing. Knights Errant, my BSB's in there. They have the errantry banner. 4 Peg Knights. A group of Knights of the Realm with a Lord in there and a second trebuchet. Also some peasant bowmen who brought some stakes with them and some braziers. Over here, it's pretty much the same list as in my last battle report if you watch that. 5 Chaos Knights, a Hell Cannon, some Chosen, his big group of Warriors, the level 4 in there. The level 4 doesn't have Shadow anymore. Has, I think, Lord Zinch, or I don't really know how Chaos works, but it's not Shadows, and if you know Chaos, you'll probably recognize the spells here soon. Then he has a Horde of Marauders with great weapons and a level 1 in there. He's got a group of dogs and a giant. So Chaos gets the first turn. Nobody charges. They all just move up. And the Hell Cannon makes its leadership test, so it can shoot. You can see it around there, the giants coming around the tower. During Magic phase, he casts Pandemonium, which is an awful spell. But it remains in play, so I can get it on my turn. And Pandemonium basically says you can't use characters' leadership, so like Inspiring Presence and stuff like that. And if you roll any 2 dice, or if you roll any dice that are doubles casting a spell, it is a miscast. So it's bad, but he rolled pretty high to cast it, and I don't want to just let him have the rest of the Magic phase unchallenged, so I let it go thinking I'll dispel it on my turn. Well then, he casts Flickering Fire on the Peg Knights, and it does 4 wounds, and the Lady of the Lake does not give any blessing to me, so 2 pegs die, which sucks. They passed their panic test, but that's rough. I still think I made the right call with Pandemonium, but, we'll see. Or at least I thought I made the right call. We go into the shooting phase, and his Hell Cannon takes aim at my Knights Errant with the BSB in there, hits them. I think it maybe does a wound or something like that, but I have to take a panic test at -1, and even though he's the BSB, I'm not using characters' leaderships here because of Pandemonium. He fails both times, and they run off the board. So, all you can really do about that is laugh, but turn 1 losing a Lance for Bretonnia sucks. They are Knights Errant, so it's the one I would want to lose if I had a choice. But, it kind of sucks. We're press on, I say, we still have a shot at this. During my turn, there are no charges, but I'm ready to shoot, and to get ready for shooting and to charge next round. I pull my level 4 out of the group of Knights of the Realm she was in because the giant's kind of coming over there, and I don't think it can really get away. I don't know what's going to happen over there, but I don't want to let it run rampant. So I put her into the Knights. Into the Grail Knights because she's closer to buff, and we'll see what happens. And then the Pegs fly. What's left of the Pegasus Knights fly behind their lines. During Magic, I dispel Pandemonium, but I fail to get anything really else off. I think I really just have buffs, and I'm not going to get into combat right away. Nothing major. During shooting, I get 1 misfire and a catapult. It just can't fire, and then 1 rock lands, killing 2 warriors, which is not bad. This is what it looks like at the end of turn 1. And Chaos moves up. They move into the river, so both the dogs and the giant and the marauders are getting all blessed from spells from the Lord of Light. And his knights charge my peasants, and one of them dies dangerous terrain from the defensive stakes, which is nice. Anytime you kill a knight, I'm happy, especially anytime a peasant manages to kill a Chaos Knight. I'm very happy. But it's short-lived because during Magic, he puts up Pandemonium. I think he gets it up, or I dispel it. I can't quite remember. But he casts Infernal Gateway, and I normally let these types of spells go because it's 2d6 hits at 2d6 strength. More than likely, it's not going to be that bad. And as Bretonnia, I've got good armor saves. Got lookout. I mean, lookouts probably wouldn't come into effect there, but I've got the ward save at 5 up. I let those types of spells go for the other stuff. Except if he rolls an 11 or 12, which he did, he rolled an 11, it kills the whole unit. So immediately I lost my Lord and his Lance of Knights of the Realm. I was like, you know what? We laughed, we talked about it. I said, I don't have a win condition. I've got like one Lance here and another one's about to get hit by a giant. What do you think? And the verdict was, Game 3, rematch. Let's scoop quick, keep the terrain the same, and throw them down again. So we did just that. We've got Bretonnia versus Chaos again, 2,500 points. This one's Battle Line, the rematch. So I won't go through everyone again, but you can see them here. This one is, because you have to roll for every unit, I have my Pegasus Knights in reserves, and Chaos has nothing in reserves. But I'm here in the corner. I'm going to try the dwarf strategy of castling a little bit and make him come to me even more. Just a couple pictures of their lines and my line, and you can see my Pegasus Knights are in reserves. So we go to Chaos turn 1. He moves up, as you can see. His giant moves through the river, which is not a river of light this time. It's a river of the blood boiling river, whatever one that is. If you're in it at the end of your movement, you're going to take some wounds. So it's not quite as good this time. You can see his dogs and his giant are moving around to the... that's still a Tower of Blood, so it's Frenzy and Hatred giving him there. He wants my Grails to charge his dog so that he can charge with his giant. Well, I'm not gonna do that, but I mean, it's a good idea. Over here we go to Magic, and it's 11 dice versus 6, so I'm at a pretty big disadvantage. He doesn't have Pandemonium this time, rolling up for spells, which is nice. But he casts Flickering Fire. I let it go because it's, again, you have to roll for what it is. It's 3 hits, but they're strength 7, and I believe it's what killed this Knight of the Realm. It's either that or from shooting. He casts Exalted Hero on his Marauders, which will give them like a superhero in there. That's not a big deal because I can dispel it later, and I'm not getting into combat with him soon, so I let that go. I was able to dispel Treason of Tzeentch, where I would attack myself, and I dispel Infernal Gateway. During shooting, his Hell Cannon hits these guys. I don't know if it's what killed that guy or the magic spell, but I managed to pass my Panic. So just one Knight down. Brett's turn 1. You will notice a distinct lack of blue arrows here. In fact, I didn't put them in, but I didn't move forward at all. In fact, I may have even backed up with some of the lances. Hell no, I'm not going to him till I'm ready. Over here, the Pegasus Knights come on, but they can only move. They can't march, so they move right up, right near that marsh there, and they're going to get ready to try to help with some flanks or rear charges. And actually, during Magic, it's 5 dice to 7. I end up casting the lower level Comet, and it goes off irresistibly. I put it like right down. You can kind of see the gold token behind the Knights, between the Knights and the Marauders there. That's where it's going to go down. But it's a lower level. It's Irresistible Force. So he brings out his puppet and jingles it in my face. But I end up getting like the big pie plate, strength 10 hits on everyone, and he's like, well, I don't need to puppet that. Why not? Why would I do that? So he lets that go off. I end up blowing up 6 of my own Knights, and she takes a wound from the explosion. So my caster's lance is pretty much devastated at this point. But hey, it's not off the board, so we can still use it for something. I shoot 2 dogs at my bowmen, and they're frenzied, so they don't have to test, but it's nice to get a few wounds with your bowmen. And both my trebuchets fail to really do anything, and that's the end of Bretonnia 1. We go to Chaos turn 2. His Hell Cannon he has to roll his leadership for, and he fails it. So he has to roll on a chart, and it has to charge the nearest enemy model, which are these guys. And he charges and rolls like some sick amount of distance and gets almost inside that marsh. That's one of those marshes that if you're in there, it's an initiative tester, you're going to get dragged down. And I'm pretty sure that thing either has poopy initiative, or if it's just a war machine, where I know it's kind of different, it'll auto-fail. Anyway, I want it in that marsh. That would be awesome. So I'm very excited about maybe trying to bait him in there if he fails again, since he's not near Inspiring Presence. Anyway, that's what the Hell Cannon did. Over here, his knights try to charge my BSB group, and I hold. He fails the charge. His warriors try to charge my peasants. I hold. He fails the charge. Everyone else just moves up, so I'm feeling good. I get another good round of shooting, and he's a little closer in case I want to charge. The dogs charge my Grail Knights, and the giant moves around and come behind it. During Magic, it's 7 dice versus 6. My Comet goes off and ends up killing 2 Knights, 5 Warriors, and 5 Marauders. So, it was pretty good. Again, killing Knights. I like it. Chaos cast Flickering Fire on my Caster Knights of the Realm unit. And I let that go. Again, it's a 2d6 hits, a 2d6 strength. Well, he gets 7 hits at strength 6. And I don't make a single 5-up armor or 5-up ward save. So I lose, 7 guys. And, I think it was 7 guys. And, they passed their panic test. But, good lord, man, it was just getting to be a little much at this point. I try to dispel Infernal Gateway, and I can't dispel it. I rolled really poorly. And he gets 11 hits at strength 9. So I'm thinking, oh my god. And I think he cast, God, I don't even remember. He must have cast on what was left of the lance with my caster Chicky Boo in it, because she's there on her own in this picture. But I rolled really well. So when all's said and done from that magic, blew up a shit ton of knights. But my caster's still around. She's got a wound left. And my knights errant are pretty much blown to hell. In close combat, I kill the dogs, and I think that's the end of Chaos 2. So we go to Bretonnia 2. I charge the warriors at my full lance of Knights of the Realm with my Lord in it. I also charge them with my BSB and Knights Errant, who are badly hurt. I move my caster, my level 4, who's now lanceless. Just move her behind for support. I'm not too worried, about what's going on here. I don't have a lot of options anyway. I move my on-foot caster out of the unit of the men-at-arms, and I move my men-at-arms right up to being right in front of those chosen. I don't want to get in combat with them. I just want to tarp hit them. So hopefully I can support these guys and win everything. My pegs don't have enough movement I don't want to charge that Hell Cannon because I'd have to charge it from the front and I'd be in the marsh. I don't have enough movement to get really anywhere where I want to be, and I don't feel threatened. So I thought it was a better play to get right up to the edge of the marsh so that if he fails his leadership test, he's got to engage me and he could get sucked down. And then next turn, I'll have the movement to get where I need to go. At least that's what I'm hoping. I charge the Grails into the Giant during Magic. He dispels my juiced up Harmonic Convergence to allow me to reroll my 1s. He dispels Wissen's Wild Form on my Lance, the big Lance, and then he dispels Ice Shard Blizzard as well. So not a good magic phase for me. During shooting, I take aim, and Rock drifts unfortunately back and kills one of my knights. And my second Rock lands in on the Marauders with the Sorcerer in there and kills 8. So that's nice on that Horde. Whittled that down quite a bit and took out his level 1. Very happy about that Rock, not the other one. In close combat, during the giant fights you can't see here, he does a few hits, no wounds. I do 5 to him, but he holds, so he's sitting on 1 wound left. And in this picture, is close combat, I win very well. Don't think I took many wounds, if any. They break, but I can't catch them. And sadly, he's not out of range of the Knight's charge, so I'm thinking I'm about to get flank charged here pretty good. And I did not get the points for that group. So I was sad, but at least I broke them and got some things going my way, possibly going my way. Chaos turn 3, the Marauders get an easy flank charge into the Knights of the Realm, and that's got my Lord in it, and he decides not to charge my Knights of the Realm with with his Knights. I'm sorry. So instead, he decides to charge my damsel, thinking I might flee and then maybe he could redirect. But I decide to hold my damsel. She's probably, you know what? I'll chance it at this point. I think I'd rather have this combat go my way. And he fails the charge, which was like, hey, the lady's looking down on me. I was very happy about that. So he's sitting right there, and I think I got the best of that situation for sure. And then his chosen just, move up the inch and charge my men-at-arms. Couldn't avoid it. His warriors rally. Very sad. So that means there's going to be a magic phase because this caster's not fleeing. During magic, it's 3 dice versus 3. I dispel Flickering Fire on the BSB's group. And I dispel Call to Glory. I used the dispel scroll on Flickering Fire because he rolled high. And then I just used the rest of my dice to dispel Call to Glory on the Marauders so they don't have a champion in there. During shooting, his cannon drifts off from hitting the level 4 damsel. Doesn't hit her. In close combat, the giant gets yelling brawl, yelling ball, whatever it is, but I hold. So I didn't get a chance to finish off the wound on him. But down here, during the slaughter, the absolute slaughterfest of the men-at-arms, I rolled fairly well for the blessings. So I remained steadfast, and I held. In fact, I think it was rerollable as well, because the BSB is right up there. So I was happy about that. Over here, the Marauders win very well, but I think that's 2 wounds on the Lord up there. But I managed to hold the 4 rerollable, so I was pretty happy about that. It's kind of a waste of my heroic killing blow Lord, but man, what are you going to do? Brett's turn 3. The good thing about having reinforcements and tying them up is you get power to bring in later. So, I've got these full peg knights who are nothing to sneeze at. Now they're coming in to help out. I'm feeling pretty good here. So the Pegasus Knights charge the flank of the warriors with the sorcerer in it, and they elect to flee, which I was happy about. I don't know if that was the right call, but I would have been able to joint charge with my BSB and those peg knights, so that might have been the right call. But he flees, so I redirect into the horde over there. Then what I do is I declare a charge with my BSB's Knight Errant group, which bounces those guys. They have to flee. They have to flee again. I didn't get them off the table, but they're as far as I really can get them. So what that means is I can't get those guys into combat. I tried, but I failed my redirect leadership test, so they couldn't get into combat with the horde. So it's one group of Pegasus Knights and then the flanked lance of with my Lord Knit, who he tried to combat reform last round, but I just couldn't do it. Now, to make things a little bit better, and this was dicey, I charged my level 4 caster into the flank, corner to corner of that horde group, right past those knights. I know she's squishy and she's got 1 wound, but she's going to get charged anyway, and if she sticks, at least she'll be able to cast. And if she sticks around, then I'll have some static combat res. So I thought it was a pretty gutsy move. And then I just moved my foot caster up to support with the lower beasts, and actually to aim down the flank of those guys if I want with an amber spear, right down the flank of the knights. So this is just a picture of the guys running away, how far away the sorcerer is. I'm very happy about that. During magic, it's 10 dice to 5. I decided to cast amber spear down the flank of the knights, and I didn't get it. I think I failed to wound. Ice Shard Blizzard goes off on the Marauders. This will help the sorcerers live. Now they have to re-roll. No, it's just -1 to... Yeah, I'm sorry. It's -1 to hit. So, yeah, that could really help. I'm very excited about that spell. And he dispels my... He knows I'm going to try it, and so he saved his dice for it. Harmonic Convergence, the area of effect. I try, but he dispels it handily. Both trebuchets drift off from trying to shoot the Hell Cannon. I probably should have been shooting at the Marauders, but that's what happened. In close combat, it's the giant gets 3 strength 6 hits on the Grails, but they save them and finish them off. Then the giant falls over, and we roll for the direction, lands right on top of the Grail Knights. But I managed to armor and ward save the 4 hits. I think he landed on 4 of them or 5 of them. So it was going to go really bad for me and my Grails, but it ended up being just fine. Over here, I win combat against the Horde. I'm down to 1 knight and my general, who's on 1 wound left. But thanks to the sorceress on the flank, and she survived. The guys whiffed on her, and thanks to the Peg Knights from coming in, I broke them and ran them down. Very happy about that. So I ran down with the sorcerer and the general, and I just rolled to restrain and restrained with the Peg Knights to turn around because that Hell Cannon's coming. So that went really well for me. The Ice Shard Blizzard, really helped. Here's the combat with the Men-at-Arms getting started, and here's at the end. broke him, but couldn't run him down, and had him at 6 men left, which, hey, you know what? That's what I expect out of men-at-arms with the blessing. So, I'm a Vampire Counts player. I'm used to large groups of chaff. In fact, those are zombies because they're I have more of them than I have men-at-arms, and they're magnetized. Chaos turn 4. The Knights restrain their frenzy and turn to face the level 2 caster. The Hell Cannon turns to shoot. The Sorcerer's group rallies, unfortunately. You can see them up there facing the correct way. It sucks. I wanted them to go off the board, but that's a little cheesy, I suppose. During Magic, it's... and then the Warriors on the bottom of the page charge my men-at-arms off the board. You know, whatever. During Magic, it's 5 dice to 4. I dispel Infernal Gateway on the BSB. He casts Flickering Fire on my General's unit. Unit in quotes, because there's only one knight with him. Nothing happens, really. During shooting, he shoots with the General with a Hell Cannon, but it drifts off. Game's getting quick here. We're going into Bretonnia turn 4. I move my little girl here into the flank to try Amber Spear again. You know, I want some points. Over here, I charge the Peg Knights and the BSB Knight Errant into the Hell Cannon. This is all the force I'm really going to have, so let's do it. I don't know if I can, but we'll try. And then I move my Grails up to the water. Remember, you can't march, so they had to stop at the water, and they'll have to go through on with the normal movement next turn. That sucks. And then we go into Magic phase. I throw all my dice at the juiced up Amber Spear from my little Chicky Boo down there. It casts, goes off, and I roll a 1 to wound. It was strength 10. It sucked. I could have got right down that remaining knights and killed them. Very sad. However, I believe what happened is I landed a rock on those knights and killed 2 of them afterwards. So they're down to 1 knight, 1 Chaos Knight left. So I'm still happy about that. In close combat, I put 2 wounds on the Hell Cannon, but it's unbreakable. So he's sticking around for the grueling slugfest. And this is what it looks like. You can see there's 1 Chaos Knight left. This is my positioning. And the Grails are desperately trying to get around to come help, but he's not giving me any charge targets. So that's the end of turn 4. Go to Chaos turn 5. The Knight fails to charge the rear of my Knights Errant, who are in combat just slightly off screen there. And I was very happy about that. I don't need that CR. It's hard enough as it is. His Marauders reform and move up. During Magic, he casts Flickering Fire. I let that go, and it ends up being 5 hits, strength 6. Seriously, he's really good at rolling for strength. But I ward save all 3 that ended up wounding on the General's unit, so I was happy about that. And then I just dispelled Infernal Gateway when he tried to cast that again. And here's what it looks like. Barely a little movement here at the end of turn 5, Chaos 5. So for my movement, the Grail Knights, they're nearly there, but they've got to just do a move through the river, and now they'll be able to march or charge next turn. My Lord reforms to be ready to charge whatever's going to happen down here, whether the Hell Cannon's going to break. I can't join in from there, but I might be able to charge the Knight or do what I can. My level 4 moves in behind for just casting. I think I'm in its charge arc, but you know what? At this point, there's not a lot of safe places. And my level 2 moves right behind his Knight, so I can try another Amber Spear if the winds of Magic cooperate. If they don't, it ends up being 2 dice versus 2 dice. However, I was able to get Harmonic Convergence off the lower level 1 on my Knights, my BSB and Knight Errant group. I thought that was... I know we debated on which group to put it on, and I put it on these guys. You get to reroll your armor and all that, so I figured it was probably worth it. During shooting, my trebuchets miss. So here I win close combat, doing another wound, but he does wound me back, and so I lose the other Knights of the Realm. Knights Errant. It's just the VSB in that group now, so he gets the points for those Knights Errant. And then I think I take a wound on the pegs, unless I was already there. So it's Chaos turn 6. Very quick game now. I charge charge my level 2, and I choose to flee. So he tries to redirect, but he doesn't have any targets he can hit. His Knight charges my Damsel, and I decide to flee this time. And she flees up there toward the Sorcerer's group. and he redirects into the back of my BSB. The sorcerer group charges my sorceress, my level 4, who flees again, and she almost gets in such a way that she'd block the charge, because, you do the reactions first and then you do the movement. Had she gone another inch, maybe 2 inches, she would have blocked the charge for that Chaos Knight to get in my rear, and I thought that was just funny as hell. But as it sits, he made it. It was close. So a lot of redirecting and multiple fleeing here. So that's where my Chicky-Boo is fleeing. There's my general. And just a picture of where everyone is on my side. And a failed charge from the from the Chaos level 4s group. And during Magic, it's 9 to 5. Flickering Fire, he casts 4 hits at Strength 4, but fails to wound my general's unit. I dispel Infernal Gateway again. He casts Treason of Tzeentch on my general's unit. He's trying to buy any points, and it goes off. That's the one where you attack yourself. But hey, if you're not a charging knight, you can attack yourself all day. You've got Strength 3, and you've got a super high armor save and a ward save. So both my knights took their lances and tried to run on them and couldn't wound themselves, which was pretty funny. And in the combat, I finally killed the Hell Cannon. I reformed with the BSB to face the knight, passing the leadership test, and I reformed with the Pegasus too, who weren't in that combat. They were just able to reform, and that was the end of the game. So this is pretty much what it looks like, and he wasn't able to get his guys into combat. He actually conceded at this point. There was one more turn, but we had a little bit of an argument. It was about 2:33 in the morning here, so we were just about done. But I wanted to see what was going to happen. He was obviously going to charge his warriors, and I don't know, his chosen might have been able to get into. Who knows? My casters were fleeing; they might not have rallied, but my Grail Knights were coming in to mop it up. We calculated the points out, and I had at the end of turn 5, I was winning by I think over 100 points. I think shy of 200. So a minor victory. One more turn would have shown exactly what was going to happen, and who knows what the hell would have happened, but he gave me the win. So in all 3 of those games with my 2 buddies, each of us won a game. 1 to the Ogres, 1 to Chaos very quickly, and then 1 minor victory to Bretonnia. So it was fun. It was definitely a long night of Warhammer, and hope to see you next time.